Loki series review and summary. Timelines, madness and the god of mischief. Loki is turning out to be one of the best series MCU has to offer. The episodes are packed with gritty humor, rich character banter and stakes which turn the events of movies like Avengers Endgame completely upside down. It successfully establishes a new power in the universe, which is beyond any mad titan. And amidst all of this, there's the good old Loki with his funny little gimmicks and tricks which, even after all these years, haven't gotten one bit stale. Loki Series Episode 1 Review, Glorious Purpose. Loki starts off just after the events of Avengers Endgame, where Loki, being the quick-witted mischievous god he is, escapes from the fresh ruins of New York to a desert in the middle of nowhere. He gazes across the vast span of land covered in sand, but just as he is about to breathe the fresh air of freedom again, the guards from the Time Variance Authority catch him and render him without his magic. A super slow punch does the trick to incapacitate an egoist Loki, and suddenly he is transported into the facility where there are more papers than humans and the sense of bureaucracy is only amplified tenfold. Each system has another system and so on and so forth. It's a place where a ticket is required to pass a queue of 2 people and a signature is required to testify each and every word a person has said. There's a certain uniqueness to the place which hasn't ever been seen before in any Marvel project, where most of the settings are ridiculed by magic and technology. The Time Variance Authority plays off as a parody, and ironically it is the most powerful place in the MCU that we have seen so far. Loki Series Episode 1, Rich Character Development from the pilot itself. That's the most I will divulge into the plot of the episode, because it surely has some epic surprises which are wrapped up in both the past and the future. The pilot of Loki works so well in bringing out the fun and goofiness that the character has possessed for so long. Even though his character during the events of the Avengers tipped more towards darkness rather than humor, they have appropriately amplified him, which fits somewhere between his Avengers and Thor Ragnarok persona. And frankly that works the best because neither of those extremities would have suited his character after all the viewers have seen and been through throughout the span of 4 phases of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Owen Wilson's Mobius is introduced and he comes off as an easygoing guy who just wants the best for everyone involved. Tasked with a mission, which involves Loki directly. The entire episode sort of gives in towards developing their peculiar chemistry where trust can't be achieved on both sides, yet there's a slight sliver of mutual understanding which can't be denied. When Loki is reluctant to accept his fate and truly understand the scope and reach of the Time Variance Authority, Mobius makes him go through the moments in the past and the future which he has and will regret. The untimely demise of his mother and his own death in Avengers Endgame work so well in establishing a massive jump in the character, who, having just obliterated New York in the most ruthless and sadistic manner, falls on his knees teary-eyed. It's such a meta thing to know from the back end that Loki isn't the same person he was in Avengers, but having Mobius bring out the present timeline personality of Loki in the Loki of the past is easily one of the best highlights of the episode. The screenplay of Loki easily trumps anything I have seen in the MCU television scene so far. And the philosophical and quirky comebacks of both Mobius and Loki are so abundant, yet hardly any one of them feels forced or leans in towards a childish humor aspect, like it did in movies like Thor Ragnarok. In fact, this is probably one of the first MCU offerings I have seen that doesn't cater to that young humor, which mostly revolved around misspelled names and pop culture references. It is witty and written with respect to the character's personality, and it doesn't reduce them in any manner whatsoever. Loki Episode 1 has me in high hopes about the show and the direction it is headed towards. From the concept to the writing, it clearly looks like Marvel is onto something sensational, and if done right, this could truly be a triumph in the overall MCU. The video ends today. See you another day in an important video like this. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and like the video. Have a nice day everyone.